Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome to the ring, fighting tonight out of the blue corner, Tyan Booth. And now let's welcome to the ring, fighting tonight out of the red corner, Chris Eubank Jr.
So Chris Eubank Jr. moves into double figures, his 10th fight. So far it's 9 wins from 9. He's been match tough. He's been champing at the bit to get going. And of course his father striding behind him to the ring. Brings glamour tonight to Bluewater. Can he take the next step towards a shot at a title?
Yeah, looking strong and composed, looks around, jumps over that top rope, looks in good condition and hasn't put a glove wrong so far during his career. And again, been matched against some good boxers, Bradley Price, Terry Carruthers, Harry Matthews, not bad at all.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout is being brought to you by Hennessy Sports, along with their great sponsors, Maxi Muscle, Liquid Caffeinated Water, and Modeling Network. This bout is scheduled for 8 rounds of boxing in the middleweight division, and our referee in charge, the third man in the ring, will be Ian John Lewis. Introducing to you first, fighting tonight out of the blue corner, he's wearing white with red and weighed in at 11 stone, 10 pounds, or 164 pounds. Coming to us from Nottingham, England, he brings a professional record of 11 wins, 9 defeats, 2 draws, with 2 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Tyan Booth. And his opponent across the ring, fighting tonight out of the red corner. He's wearing gold and white and weighed in at 11 stone, 9 pounds, 2 ounces, or 163 pounds. Hailing from Brighton, England, he is undefeated with 9 wins, and 4 of his 9 wins come by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Chris Eubank Jr.
I'm the referee. Obey my command at all times. You both know the rules. Watch the heads, keep your punches up. And when I shout break, you break clean. And remember, to defend yourself at all times. Shake hands.
So Chris Eubank Jr. looking to impress. looking to shine here tonight and looking to pick up yet more fans up against Tyan Booth, and already that different way of doing things from Team Eubank.
I think the mission tonight as well from Booth here, Dave, will be to try and frustrate Eubank, try and make him make mistakes, get careless, get reckless, and then pick him off with the counters. That's what he'll try and do, and that's why we're seeing this type of start from Booth. Hands fairly low, and the way he walked over to the corner, the neutral corner at the start of the round.
Well, the most consistent criticism of Chris Eubank Jr. in his short professional career so far has been that lack of power. We have seen opponents put him under pressure, notably Terry Carruthers, who seemed to walk through his punches on his way to a narrow defeat. And it'll be interesting to see what Booth can do and what effect Eubank Jr.'s punches have on Tyan Booth. Fairly cagey start to the fight, but we might have expected that. And a good bit of confident work there from Booth.
Yeah, again, just working well with his jab and frustrating Eubank a little bit. Eubank's just mainly targeting Booth's body, and that's not too bad an option against a much taller opponent, obviously. But again, I think he's just struggling just to close that gap down and hit the target. Got to quicken those feet up a little bit. That's a little bit better. Well, Booth's doing some good work here, and a good right hand from him.
It was a really good right hand from Tyan Booth. I think Eubank Jr. already knows that he's in a fight here. Interesting here that Booth is just starting to mimic the body language a bit of Eubank Jr. in there to make life difficult and to make mischief as well. And he's talking to him too.
Yeah, some mind games going on in there. Early doors from Booth. There was a little smile from Eubank Jr. He acknowledged what his opponent's trying to do there, but it's important that he keeps well focused and just gets on with the job.
A pretty scrappy opening round. Booth has had some success here. 8th round of this, so Eubank Jr. can't afford to waste any time. Can't afford to fall behind here.
No, don't do that. You just pull it out. Yep. You all right, mate? Good, brilliant.
You got to do. Just pop him with a jab and keep him in that jab. When he steps and just step back and then counter him again. Right? He's turning away and closing his eyes when he's throwing shots at you.
Well, a frustrating round for Eubank, and I thought he did go behind in this round. There's the posing from Booth. And for me, this fella just nicked that round.
Take your time. Okay? Take every shot. Don't waste nothing, mate. Don't waste nothing. I better curve and
You've got complete hit him and don't get hit. Come on, he'll come out at you a bit more now. But keep him tight.
So interesting start here for Chris Eubank Jr. in his 10th professional fight, looking for a 10th win against Tyan Booth. This awkward fella from Nottingham, I think most people had winning that first round against Eubank Jr. Just an 8-rounder, remember.
I think it's very evident here what Eubank's got to do, Dave. I think he's got to up the pace, go through the gears a little bit more. I think Booth is very good at slowing it down. You can see those attacks coming from Eubank. He can adjust his feet, and he's good with his jab. So he's spoiling at the moment, he's Booth, and he's boxing very well. Eubank has got to up the pace a little bit.
Well, Booth almost shocked Gregor Sproksha back in February 2010. Had him in terrible trouble in the second round before running out of steam. Proksha's fought Golovkin for a world title. Was taken apart, but it shows the level of opposition with which Booth has been in. It's better from Eubank. Well, Booth trying to tie him up as he comes forward. He doesn't mind this being a scrappy fight, Tyan Booth.
No, that's exactly what he wants. He wants to tie Eubank up, make it ugly if you like. But Eubank's starting to have some success to the body with 2s and 3s shots, but he's just got to sustain the pressure a little bit more. He's still not got out of second gear, Eubank Jr.
But we talk about things like learning curves, and we talk about moving up the ranks, and this is what we're seeing in front of us. This is what you have to do. And he is match tough, and he is learning lessons. And they are taking risks with Eubank Jr., and that is in many ways to be applauded. Interesting that it's Booth who had the middle of the ring, and it's Booth trying to throw the first shot. Booth trying to apply the pressure. I think Eubank Jr. needs to wake up a little here.
Yeah, it's scrappy, isn't it? Booth boxing well at range, but then when Eubank does close the gap down, he's holding him on the inside, and he's not allowing Eubank to actually work, and Eubank has got to try and find space on the inside to work and let those punches go. Look, he's too close there. He's got to find the room and space, which is not always easy if a man's holding you.
Yeah, still Tyan Booth talking to Eubank Jr., making it scrappy, making it difficult. You can see Chris Eubank Sr. on the other side of the ring, just leaning forward and maybe offering a little bit of advice.
We've got a jab right there, mate. He's trying to sneak one fight so far. Don't let it be even.
Dipping down this way,
Get the jab right, listen to me. And step in and start working that jab. And crack that right hand across as well. There's no right hands coming in yet. You got that control?
And then when he comes past you that way, then right up to body. So as he comes into you, just hit him with a low left hook. Then you do that, hit him with right up to this side of the body, because he's always dipping under your jab. He's dipping this way under your jab. Do you understand? So your front jab is dipping here. And as he does, you're going to sort of throw that left hook in, boom, and then hit him right up to body. Don't aim on your body out inside. Do you understand?
I'm on your chest, but don't
deep
keep
breathe,
talking.
come on, deep breathe, deep breathe, deep breathe, deep breathe. Right?
Dominic
Bit of
Ingle
water,
there,
bit of water.
in charge in the Tyan Booth corner. Clearly feeling his man might have a chance here. So round 3 between Chris Eubank Jr. in those flashy gold and white trunks against Tyan Booth, who started well in this 8-rounder.
Yeah, second round was a closer round. I think it could have gone either way. First round definitely went to Booth. But Eubank again just struggling to get past that jab. I think he's got to double up his own jab. He's got caught with a right uppercut there, dipping a bit too low with his hands all over the place, Eubank, and got caught with a good shot from Booth. But Eubank's got to start double up the jab and then send the right hand over.
Well, Booth is coming to set a test, and Eubank isn't anywhere near passing it at the moment. Can he find a way to deal with this tall and rangy fighter? Hasn't fought anyone as tall as this. Booth as well, using all of his experience here. Disqualified against Cello Render in February. Render left with stitches in his face after all sorts of work on the inside with elbows and whatnot. He is a fighter who ruffles feathers, and that's just what he's doing. That's a little better though from Eubank Jr. Good uppercut there from Eubank.
Yeah, and he's actually starting to work better to the body now, Eubank, with the left hook as he's coming forward. He's starting to just slip to his left and then send that left hook home. He probably needs to be throwing something before that. Or he needs to actually draw the lead. There it is. Draw the lead from his opponent and then do the slip in and the left hook to the body.
Final minute of this third round. Is Eubank just starting to assert himself here? Booth still doesn't look particularly bothered. Left to the body from Eubank, but Booth still the man on the front foot here. Right to the body and then follows it up with a left to the body. Good attack there from Eubank Jr. Just about his best work of the fight so far.
Yes, solid body punching there from Eubank Jr. Just gets a little bit sloppy, Dave, on the inside with those low hands and dipping the head a little bit too low. But that's a good round for him, probably his best round. Yep, some good work here from Eubank Jr, but then gets caught with that right uppercut. That's because he's dipping too low, his hands are all over the place. Made a mistake there, gets caught with that shot. That was a good shot from Booth, but he opened up to the body, didn't he? 2 or 3 shots went in from Eubank. Great attack there, all body shots and 3 got home. So it was definitely his best round. And he's pulled him right back into it now.
When you've got a walk, that's a pop. That's what I do with you.
Right hand through the middle of the more. Right hand body left. Trying to get them. Nice defence. Another punt.
Calm and encouraging words there from Ronnie Davis in that Chris Eubank Jr. corner, the man who guided his father through his career and is doing so with the son. Certainly wouldn't suggest it's a crisis here for Chris Eubank Jr., but it's as tough a test as we've seen him had here.
Yeah, it's an awkward night for him, and it was always going to be awkward against the fellow who's 6 foot 2.5 and can box as well as Booth can. I mean, Tyan Booth hasn't won a contest in the last 6, but that doesn't paint the real picture of how good this fella is. He's awkward, works well with his jab, and he's difficult to actually nail. That's the problem that Eubank's got, to actually nail him with some good shots.
He's certainly the kind of fighter that if you come in lacking sharpness or a little off your game, the kind of fella who can take advantage. The crowd enjoyed that little bit of flashy footwork from Eubank Jr. And he is quite the entertainer.
Yeah, method in his madness there. What he's trying to do is trying to draw the lead of Booth and then obviously try and counter. It's a little bit better from Eubank. He's getting closer, but he's got to work more on the inside. He's got to up the work rate again. He's waiting too long.
Good work again from Booth, but Eubank almost yoga moves from him there as he almost bounced down to the canvas and back up again. Struggling to connect with clean shots though, Eubank Jr. That was a clean shot though.
Well, that was right on cue, wasn't it, Dave? You brought that out of him, I think. That was a super left hook to the body. Great technique. I think what he's got to do now also, Eubank Jr., is switch the attacks. He's working well to the body, but then maybe finish it with a headshot. And that's a bit of showboating from... That's clever work from Booth, because he actually took a very good body shot, so he's just bought himself a few extra seconds there and recovered from it.
Bit of ring craft there from Tyan Booth.
You've got to remember, he comes from the Ingle camp. They're clever people. No, they're boxing inside out.
Left there from Eubank. Certainly stung Booth just a little. But these are difficult rounds to score. Ian John Lewis is the Man charged with that over these 8 rounds. That's a good right from Eubank Jr.
Yeah, not a lot in these rounds at all. There's that left hook to the body. That was probably the best shot of the contest so far. Lovely technique there. Just slips to the left and then whips that left hook to the body, making his opponent miss there. Showboating a little bit, but then just far too away from his opponent there as he made that attack.
Right. Come around the side of the body, then go back to straight shots through the middle to the body. That's where you're catching him. Then come back to the top. Switch it about, head and body, but try and concentrate on that jab and not getting it off mess.
He's getting a rest every time. Just saying, you've got the height and the reach to stand off and just hit him with straight shots. And every time you walk around on your own line, you're wasting time.
Okay, mate, 30 seconds, okay.
We move over halfway then in this 8-rounder. The 10th professional fight of Chris Eubank Jr.'s career. And this is very, very close between he and Tyan Booth as Eubank Jr. continues to be match tough. Booth has started well. Can he carry it on into the second half of the fight? We've already mentioned, Richie, a difficult one to score, and could certainly have it level at this point.
Yeah, I've actually got it 2 rounds apiece, to be quite honest. Very close indeed. Booth again working well with the jab, and he's got to do more of that, Tyan Booth here. Work behind that jab and try and keep Eubank at distance. Yeah, he does a good job with that shot, and again it's good work from Booth. Centre of the ring, long jab, difficult to get to.
Good body work there from Eubank Jr. Through a couple of rights and then a left to the body. Excellent work from Eubank Jr. Found a way through with both those shots with that combination to the body. Is he managing to just soften up Booth and slow him down? Not at the moment. Good work again from Booth. That right caught Eubank Jr. Jr. needs to be careful here.
Yeah, this is better work now from Eubank.
Look for the uppercut, followed it with 2 right hands. Great combination from him there. And for the first time, Booth looks in trouble. Well, it's taken until round 5, but Eubank really stung in there. Comfortably his best work, comfortably his best round in the fight so far.
Yes, good work from Eubank, and I think also we should be targeting Booth, pushing him back either to the ropes or into the corners, and just to restrict that movement, and then you can actually go to work then downstairs. In the centre of the ring, though, Booth seems to be in control of things. Back on the ropes, it's Eubank's territory.
Again, he has Booth on the back foot, but again, Booth fights back.
Yeah, this was probably Eubank's best spell of this round, most certainly. Probably of the contest, to be quite honest, keeping Booth on the back foot. Eubank coming forward, pinning him on the ropes, working the body, working the head, switch of attack. That right hand over the top, great shot, and then a left went in also. And just keeping him there. Good attack from Eubank. You've got to be boxing with him, using straight shots and scoring. Scoring and he's running off and holding you.
understand? That's all he's doing is saving time, and you're still looking at him and coming back with nothing. Start scoring straight.
Well, the 5th round was the first that you could convincingly score to either fighter. To Chris Eubank Jr. here in the white and gold trunks against Tyan Booth, who is giving him plenty to think about here tonight at the Glow in Bluewater. The encouragement from Dominic Ingle in the Booth corner was to keep scoring here, making sure that you're not just in the fight, but that you're going some way to winning it.
Yeah, the longer this contest goes on, the more chance Eubank's actually got of landing that right hand over the top. If you look at the way Booth boxing now with that left hand very, very low, the way he's coming forward, he's not as quick as he was, and maybe Eubank should be starting to target that right hand over the top. But on the other hand, what Booth's got to do more of, Davies throwing the right uppercut. As Eubank comes forward, he tends to crouch. There you go.
Big left hand now from Eubank. Again, Booth was first to the jab there. Those who criticise Eubank Jr., and there have been many, will find plenty in this fight to fuel their fire so far.
Well, it's a different test, isn't it, for Eubank? It's not only a physical one, but it's a mental one as well. He can't afford to lose his control and composure here, and this is better work from Eubank now, pinning Booth onto those ropes.
Yeah, seeing his speed there, the speed of those hands from Eubank. They might question his power, but you can't question his speed. Booth looked for that uppercut there, as you said, as Eubank came forward. Is this where Chris Eubank Jr. just starts to turn the screw?
I think what Eubank Jr. started to do this round, Davies, forget about the showboating, he's getting on with the job, he's concentrating, and he's starting to land the better shots.
Confidence, cockiness, and a level of arrogance here, but still a fight to be won. In the last couple of rounds, he's gone some way to winning it here, Eubank. He's going to finish the round strongly as well. Another one in the back for Eubank.
Excuse that bucket.
Yep, good work again from Eubank. Started off with that left hook to the body, didn't it, with that slip there to the left, and then keeps the attack going, pinning Booth onto the ropes again, gets home with a good right hand and just keeps the attack going, sustained pressure, and he's slowly but surely starting to get to Booth now. Another angle, good right hand, and I think his old fella's more pleased now.
Give yourself room, just step that a little bit back and come up with them, alright? Start throwing from right hands. Okay, mate? Keep on the body, keep on him, you know?
Dig in deep and start throwing them straight and scoring with your jab. So, come on.
Penultimate round here between prospect Chris Eubank Jr. and very, very awkward, classy opponent Tyan Booth. It's taken a while for Eubank to get the ascendancy, but you have to feel he's got it now. Just needs to finish the job here, Richie.
Yeah, and we spoke about that right hand over the top, didn't we, earlier? And then we're starting to throw more and more of them. I think there's a cut.
Yeah, above the left eye of Tyan Booth. And that, I think, is in a nasty position as well. Right above the eye. See him trying to wipe the blood away, and Eubank Jr. has seen it too and is targeting it now. Ian John Lewis had a little look at it as well. There goes the right hand once more.
It's important now that Booth starts moving to his right a little bit more. If he just keeps moving to his left with that low left hand, he's going to walk onto that right and over the top. Got to change his direction here.
See Booth just blinking a bit there. Trying to protect that left eye to a certain extent as Eubank comes forward. And what a test this fellow has proved. And it's taken Eubank time to break him down.
Yeah, I think you got it right there, Dave. It's took him time, and it's took him time physically, mentally and physically to actually break this fella down.
And it's been a good match, this. And the fact that he's been matched so tough so far in his career will surely end up being a good thing for Eubank. He's learning very, very fast. Good left hand followed by the left jab there.
Yeah, there's less power now in that jab from Booth. He can't seem to keep, even switching to southpaw now, trying to confuse Eubank. He can't keep him at bay. That's his problem. And Eubank now is sensing victory. Really going for it.
Yeah, sensing the stoppage here now, Eubank. Caught with a right though after he threw a right of his own. Booth so game and still hanging on in there. That's good speed though, great combinations from Eubank, throwing punches in bunches now.
Yeah, I think Booth is tiring more and more now, Dave, because of literally the power of Eubank. He's starting to get home. That's weakening his opponent. This is good stuff again.
Booth on the back foot, Eubank looking for the finish.
Here we go, hold that. Oh, not yet.
Yep, some good work again here from Eubank. There's that right hand over the top, just missed the target, but he keeps the attack going, pins Booth on the ropes, and then just keeps punching away. Booth's tiring as the round's going on. And just all pressure now from Eubank, and he cannot keep Eubank at bay. Good stuff from Eubank Jr.
All right, son. Good performance last round.
Get out and score, Tyan. Get out and score. Alright, let's have some shots.
Final round then. Chris Eubank Jr. and Tyan Booth, and what a riveting contest it's been. Young fighter, severely tested here, but it looks like coming through the test to make it. 10 fights and 10 wins. He's definitely going for the stoppage. He doesn't like it when people say he hasn't got power. You've always said that as he gets older he'll grow into that power.
Yeah, I think he will, and I think he's got decent power. Chris Eubank Jr. I think he's in against a tough opponent here tonight. He's made things very awkward for him, but as the contest has gone on, then he's worked him out, and he's slowly but surely got to his man. He's found the room on the inside, and he's found the better work.
Yeah, Booth in trouble now. I think he's now just thinking about lasting the 8 rounds. All thoughts of winning have gone. I hope on the scorecard Booth gets the credit for the early pressure he put Eubank under. Of course, we might not need the scorecard still. Just under 2 minutes to go here.
So that's what I was talking about, Dave, about finding the room to work on the inside. That was a perfect example there of Eubank Jr. Keeps the punches going. He's in at short range, but he's finding the target and he's finding that space.
We'll go for the real showboating right hand there. Didn't really land from Eubank. Good work now. Now that he's found his range and worked Booth out, He's landing with much more regularity here, Eubank. Switching really well between the body and head now, Eubank.
Yeah, there's a big left hook in there that hurt Booth. That was a great shot. Booth just hanging on there. He'll just want to get through to the end of this one.
Right uppercut followed by left uppercut followed by combination to the jaw, and Booth is on shaky legs. It's another big right hand. Ian John Lewis has had several looks at this and he's seen enough. Who says he hasn't got any power? He was set a big test here tonight, and in the end he has passed it most impressively and viciously and brutally. Great stoppage win in the end for Chris Eubank Jr.
Yeah, he'll be really pleased with that, and so will his corner and his dad and Ronnie Davis, because that was the icing on the cake there. It was a tricky start for him, wasn't it? But as the fight went on, he grew into it and he found the target and he found the way to get through with the shots. And this is where he finished his opponents off here. Ian John Lewis having a look, but he just kept the attack going. Lefts, rights, uppercuts, hooks, everything went in, and it was a good decision by the referee there. And Booth wanted to get to the end of this contest, but there was no denying Chris Eubank Jr. Right uppercut, left hook, right hand over the top, and keeps the pressure on and keeps it going. Sustained pressure. And overall, I think that's a good performance, because it was tricky early on and he lost a couple of rounds at the start there, did Chris Eubank Jr. But he found his way through this contest, he worked him out, and that's not too bad a night's work at all.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is the official time. 2 minutes 31 seconds of round number 8. Our referee in charge, Ian John Lewis, steps in, stops the contest as the blue corner in no position to continue. Therefore, your winner, still undefeated, Chris Eubank Jr.
So a stoppage win for Eubank Jr. And Richie, what's your verdict on Eubank and his career?
I think he's moving along very nicely indeed. I think he's got a very good trainer there in Ronnie Davis that will just know when he's got to go to the next level. But at this moment in time, I think the middleweight division in this country is booming with talent, and there's plenty of time for this lad, and he will want to box for the British title pretty shortly. But I think he still needs probably 2 or 3 fights before he makes the step to that level. But I think he's coming along really well indeed, because it was a different challenge and test for him tonight, and he got through it and he finished it in style.